Fields of Mistria is surprisingly dense with details that either make your life easier or are potentially overpowered tricks for progression. As I played through a year, I learned a lot, and I'm going to share it with you to make your experience a little smoother. This is the most important one. Days in Fields of Mistria are only 12.5 minutes long. Compare that to Stardew Valley's 14 minutes or Minecraft's 20 minutes, and combine that with the time it takes to do some crafting, you're gonna have some very short days. What I'd like you to take from this knowledge is that you're not going to be able to do everything in one day. Don't be afraid to have a day where you go to the mill, make 20 mayonnaise, and go to bed. You're not meant to dive 15 or 20 floors in the mines in one day. Just 5 is enough. NPCs don't have friendship decay if you don't talk to them on a certain day, so don't feel like you need to seek everyone out every single day. I know it feels weird to fly through days, but you are meant to do that. Here's a couple of rapid fire controls that you may find helpful, but the game doesn't point out. Once you've upgraded your inventory, Tab swaps between different toolbars. Hold Shift when transferring an item to and from chests or the shipping bins to immediately move it over instead of having to drag it. Left click grabs an entire stack, right click grabs one item at a time. And by default, the comma and period keys will make you do a peace sign, which also swaps between your outfit presets, which you can set up in the menu. So, money making. There's one trick that I used that had me absolutely swimming in money. At the beginning of each season, find the regrowing crop that takes the longest to grow, and grab 9 of them. Plant them in a 3x3 square, and then use the growth spell on them. Now immediately on day 1, you have an entire harvest of crops, and they'll start regrowing a lot faster. I did this with wheat in fall, and in fact, I used a mana potion to get 18 of them started. Skipping the 9 days to initially grow, I got 10 harvests that month instead of 7. There is a second step here that I think warrants its own tip. Y'all, cooking is good. Most of the time, cooking recipes sell for more than the cost of their ingredients. But what really pushes it over the edge are 2 perks. Waste Not, Want Not, which sometimes returns the ingredients you used, and Dinner for 2, which will sometimes duplicate the cooked dish that you made. So like for the wheat that I farmed earlier, milling it increases its price, and cooking it into bread increases the price again. Then I get all of those freebies, and if you have any of the perks that imbue your cooked foods with different effects, you can keep them for utility if you like. If you find yourself struggling with stamina, there's 3 spots around the map that can replenish it each day. First is the soup pot at the inn. Initially, it restores 20 energy, but as you get later in the game, it'll start to restore 40. The second spot at the northern end of the eastern road, there's a boulder normally blocking the way. You'll need at least a copper pickaxe to clear it. This fountain will restore 20 energy. Once this bridge at the beach is fixed, it's right next to the fish shop. There's another fountain here that will once again restore 20 stamina. Holding the use button for a tool normally charges it up. If you would like it to repeatedly use the tool over and over again, you can bind that in the options. Normally catching a fish takes more than 1 stamina. How much stamina it uses is dependent on the size of the fish. And when you're at 0 stamina, it won't let you cast at all. What you can do to get around this is eat an easy food like wild berries that just restore 1 stamina, and you can catch fish, and you'll lose whatever stamina you have left, which is 1. Repeat this to your heart's content. When you're choosing which tools to make with all of your copper ingots, hold off on making a copper hoe because you get one for free in March's 2-heart cutscene. If you have the tier 2 perk Mine Time, you'll get a 10-second speed boost when reaching a new floor of the mines, noted by the timer in the top left whenever you get the boost. If you've decided it's time to leave, quickly take a trip to one of the other floors of the mines using the elevator, and then go back up top. You'll still get that 10-second speed boost, and it'll last a little bit outside the mines. Pay attention to this midnight notification. I tested it, and no matter where you are on the map, you should be able to get back to your farm with time to spare. What you're seeing right now is footage of me starting at the summit, which is the farthest possible point from the farm. And here I am, 40 minutes to spare. Could be a little bit tighter if you're in a particularly large mines floor, but with that exception, you should be fine. Every animal in this game have 6 different tiers of colors with 15 colors total. You can check what color tier they are by looking at their page in the menu. If you breed 2 animals of the same tier, you are guaranteed to get a baby that is 1 tier higher than them. If one of the animals is of a lower tier, there's only a chance that you'll get that higher tier. If the baby's tier consists of multiple colors, which color you get is random, unless it's tier 6. In that case, the color you get is actually dependent on the season, with a unique color for each one. The shiny beads you get for feeding and petting your animals can be donated to this chicken statue here on Hayden's farm. You get a reward, but it is random. On average, you'll get around 200 tesserae worth of materials for 10 beads and 2,000 tesserae for 100 beads. There are a couple of unique recipes for offering 10 beads, so don't just save up for 100. Similarly, there's a wishing well on the eastern road, hidden behind a boulder, that allows you to offer either 100 or 500 coins each day. There's 3 unique recipes behind the 500 tesserae offering, and 4 hats behind the 100 offering. If you feel like you're moving a bit slowly, there's a tier 3 perk for blacksmithing that gives you the chance to make armor imbued with a 4% speed buff, and they do stack. If you equip a full set of hasty armor, that's a 20% boost. You can feed animals just about any food. I got stuck thinking that you could only use grass seed and hay, and I spent a lot more time than I should have hunting for it. Meanwhile, you can feed them all of those wild berries you've been collecting for the same amount of beads. Personally, I tend to just give them leftover crops, but if you have fruit trees, they are particularly cheap and low effort, giving 4 beads each. Also, make sure you're not carrying any of the eggs you pick up, because they will eat it and it will only give you 1 bead. And that'll do it. Thank you for watching. Hope these tips helped you out. See you in the next video, and good night.